Hey guys, this is the Revolver Man, and it's time for another week, well, day in this case, of the Dark Match. My co-hosts are...
Hello, I'm Mr. War Machine.
Hello, I'm Jingus.
And I'm Digifox. And we got to start it off, like tradition here is to start it off with, what is Iron Sheik tweeting now? And here's a good one. Fuck this Saturday night! I party, I have good time 24 hours a day, 365 days a week. I am the legend, not that motherfucker Jake Roberts.
Yeah, it sounds like Cinema Snob doing an Iron Sheik impression. I kind of called it.
No. To me, it sounds like we somehow got a Dark Match correspondent from, 1893 or something.
Fuck this Saturday night. I party, have good time 24 hour, 365 day. I am the legend, not that motherfucker Jake Roberts.
You're very good at that, Jingus.
New Mombasa.
Anyways, once again, this is a special show. It's not live because it's being broadcast from England this week.
Yeah. So we're probably talking about this shit 2 weeks after it actually happened in front of people.
Yeah, probably.
Anyways, we start off with R-Truth, the number one contender, R-Truth.
Oh yeah.
It was good old R-Truth.
I don't mind them putting him in this number one contendership spot. I think they could have always used him more and in a higher spot on the card than they have. It was just, A, it was awfully sudden. B, it was set up kind of stupidly and awkwardly, and it doesn't make sense why they put him in this match. C, number 3, Christ, I'm counting like I'm in TCU here. But the final reason is why he's really in this match is because they don't want Miz or Cena to job to each other.
Yeah, they
need somebody to pin.
Mm-hmm. Which makes another entrant in this match, who we'll talk about later, it makes it all the more apparent why he's actually in this. So R-Truth comes out, and Truth is happy, as anyone would be. And
he comes out to just talk about how happy he is, apparently.
Yeah.
No other fucking reason.
Mm-hmm. I mean, so he says he'll be a fighting champion if he wins. Then Morrison comes out. Okay. He says he's happy for R-Truth. But he starts talking about the condition that R-Truth is in, which I was kind of confused when he started bringing this up because it didn't look like there was anything wrong with R-Truth.
Yeah, and then they made a big deal out of the fact that last week, in the middle of this gauntlet match, where he'd already beat 2 guys and was facing Cena, he drank water. That's a big deal, apparently. Apparently that's one of those backstage fucking locker room deals, like not shaking the Undertaker's hand. You don't drink water during the middle of the match.
You're not allowed to hydrate yourself.
Much like you aren't allowed to buy your own first-class plane ticket if you're not given one by the office, much like you have to carry your own bags, you're not allowed to have a rolly bag. Apparently you're not allowed to drink water in a match as well, I guess.
Yeah. Fuck you, proper health.
God forbid you run out of breath in a wrestling match, especially a gauntlet match. Shame on you if you run out of breath in a gauntlet match. It's go time.
And, God, I can't even recap this. You guys finish the recap, and I'll chime in with some thoughts afterwards.
So, Morrison keeps going on and on about the shape he's in, and R-Truth says he's fine. And then Morrison goes, well, you're still in pretty good shape for an athlete that smokes. Bombshell! R-Truth is a sturdy smoker.
Which is a rib on the fact that he loves him some reefer, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can't have smoking. It's not PG.
by the way, hold on. I don't mean to stop this, but during this segment, someone in the crowd holds up a troll face sign. I don't know when it happens, but it was pretty funny. But Truth says he's trying to quit smoking, and then Truth essentially says, I know what you're trying to do, and it's not going to happen. He's trying to... What Morrison is trying to do is he's trying to kind of provoke Truth into wrestling Morrison for his spot in the match. Which is exactly what happens.
Which Morrison responds to that with, okay, I accept. Truth's like, what? And then suddenly it's ding, 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 and there's a referee in the ring.
I mean, it's just... it was a very, all of a sudden, wait, what? Why are they... What?
Who knew that number one contenderships were now under 24/7 rules?
Clearly. I'm surprised someone didn't jump him coming out to the ring or drugged his water.
Somebody needs to hire back Farouk so the APA can come back and they can start defending these.
Quick! Someone call Sam Jackson. Tell him to get his Shaft uniform on. They need protection.
Yeah, we're gonna have number one contender matches in the Chuck E. Cheese pretty soon.
So
that was one of the most awesome moments on wrestling. Damn it!
I would argue that the best moment of the 24/7 rules, and I've said this before on the podcast, so this is a little redundant, but the best moment of the 24/7 rules was at WrestleMania 18 when Molly was about to escape and Christian just slams the door in her face.
Oh, that was epic.
It was like the big moment of the pay-per-view. But anyways, I digress. Bell rings, it's Morrison versus Truth. And the stipulation is if R-Truth loses this one, he loses his contendership to Morrison. Why they're doing this, I have no idea. But, in all honesty, let's just recap the match first.
Yeah, let's finish up this segment before we talk about it.
Yeah. It's not bad. I mean, Morrison's good, and as much as we bash and are about to bash R-Truth, I suspect, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he does. He just gets used.
They work well together. They are both perfectly good wrestlers. There is nothing wrong with what R-Truth is doing in this spot at all.
Hell, they were tag team partners.
The top of his capabilities. And they have a good match, all 4 minutes of it.
So
and then the 25 minutes that followed afterwards, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, so like we said, it was a pretty short match. It ends when Morrison hits Starship Pain and gets the 1, 2, 3.
Afterwards, Morrison extends his hand, exchanges words. Truth is obviously really mad at the fact that his friend would take advantage of him like this. And Morrison poses for the fans, and then Truth proceeds to beat the shit out of him. I mean, he just charges him and tears him off the turnbuckle. Or, is that what happened? He tears him off the turnbuckle, and then throws him to the mat. And then Truth knees him in the head, knocks him out of the ring, and then they're outside of the ring for maybe the next 15 minutes.
Wait. First of all, he acts like that's it and is about to leave, but turns around. He
does that. Oh my god, that made me so mad. He did that like 5 times.
Yeah, you start getting this look on his face like, oh, what have I done? This is my friend. I shouldn't have done that. And then I'll hit you again!
If he actually wanted to turn heel or not. He kept he would beat up Morrison, look back like he was about to cry, then beat up Morrison some more, walk away, look like he was about to cry, beat up Morrison again. Then he went over to some fans and took this fan's pack of cigarettes, lit one up, and then I don't know exactly what he did here, but he takes the hugest drag from the cigarette, blows it all out, and then just starts yelling incoherently.
Maybe when he's dropping the rapper gimmick for the absolutely bipolar separate personalities gimmick.
I really hope so, because if it provides more moments for... I can't even describe what he did, because I'm not quite sure what happened.
I want him to come out next week with the Penguin cigarette cold smoker thingy.
Oh my god, that'd be awesome.
What's up?
That's like a fucking meter long.
He just comes out with like a diamond cane, a top hat, a tuxedo, and he's like puffing on his cigarette.
In my opinion, that would get R-Truth to the main event. But then I tried to book, not really, and I lost. And that was ERM, or whatever the hell that game is called, so maybe I shouldn't be giving advice.
So, Truth lights the cigarette, yells incoherently, walks over to Morrison, takes another huge drag, and then blows all of the smoke in Morrison's face, which I imagine wasn't very nice. It probably...
I think
it's
he killed
mildly annoying.
He killed that cigarette in 2 drags too. Truth
and then Truth flicks the cigarette on Morrison, and then walks away talking to himself. So your theory about the bipolar gimmick might not be all that far from the truth. But, the truth. Get it? Anyways.
Oh, hi-oh.
Okay, this angle, this might be the stupidest heel turn I've seen since, well, I'm sure TNA has done a stupider one sometime in the past couple of months, but still, in recent memory, this made absolutely no sense. Why would Morrison, who's supposed to still be a babyface, who we're still supposed to cheer, we're supposed to be on Morrison's side, he comes
completely fuck his friend over.
Mind fucks his friend into this match, basically forces him into it without getting his permission, steals his title shot, makes fun of his friend, takes for fucking ever doing it, by the way. That opening promo was 10 minutes long. And we're supposed to boo Truth?
Yeah, seriously. If anyone has a right to be mad, it's R-Truth.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you, our listeners. If your friend conned you out of your $150 million lotto ticket, and then you kicked him in the face for it, who's the bad guy?
Clearly you are. But this segment, by the way, went on way too long. I mean, it felt like it lasted forever. I mean, I don't even like Morrison.
A legitimate 25 minutes at bare minimum.
Like, it was clear that Vince was looking at whatever it is and realized that no matter how much they stretched everything out, they weren't going to fill time, so they needed to do something, and they decided, let's have R-Truth turn heel for an obscene amount of time.
And then,
which is slightly understandable because they are in Europe. They probably have a skeleton crew. They didn't bring everybody with them. But still, there's better ways to kill time than that.
Mm-hmm. I forgot there was a show.
They could have put 3 matches, on that thing, put some more people on TV, maybe get a hook, get somebody over. No? All right.
I just... It went, as stated, it went on obscenely long, but
I guess
it's
too
over.
Long.
It's over now, but I guess, And I still don't understand why he turned heel. It's not like he was getting a non-reaction from the crowd. He is over. And,
you had little pale English kids trying to rap along with the dark fellow,
Yeah,
they love it.
It's not. He's not lost on the people. His Green Bay flub didn't diminish his popularity. Yeah. Well, maybe in Wisconsin, but
outside of Wisconsin, people found it hilarious because they kept talking about it. I mean, how many jokes did John Cena get out of that fucking mistake?
At least 3.
Yeah, and Michael Cole's mentioned it every single time Truth came out until tonight. And I don't believe it came out of his mouth once.
Well, that's because it was supposed to be shocking.
Well, you gotta remember, this is supposed to be Europe, so, the term Green Bay might not be too familiar with people in London.
Well, and they don't really care that he messed up a city name of a state they've probably never heard of. So, apologies to anyone who listens to this who's from Wisconsin. Anyways,
football. I thought they played hand egg in the U.S.
Oh yeah, that place with Lake Wobegon, right? Okay.
Anyways,
after that obscenely long thing, we get
Evan Bourne versus Dolph Ziggler. So we get to the ring, and Bourne has a jobber entrance. Of course, we know how this is going to end before it
After
even
that
starts.
obscenely long, this went obscenely short.
Then,
and Evan Bourne has hit the worst kind of over you can be. So over that they can't carry you, but not over enough so they push you, so you end up in perma-jobber.
Yeah, he is. He will be a jobber for the rest of his career. He will be a jobber who's known for putting on at least semi-decent matches, even if they are obscenely short. But, anyways. So, that fucking woman comes out, and I'm not going to say her name.
Vicky Guerrero!
God damn it! No! Now you... God damn it! Because now you put it in the show. I tried to save you, viewers, and Revolver Man screwed it up for you. Get mad at him.
Oh, yeah, but we don't have CMG anymore.
Hey, discuss show politics on the show.
Anyways.
Along similar lines, if I suddenly drop out, it's because there's a thunderstorm around here. The power connection fails randomly.
Fair enough. She introduces the new and improved Dolph Ziggler. And he comes out with no hair.
Short haircut, and it's brown.
Ziggler, he looks
and it's
like
brown, and he looks pissed.
Look,
he is not happy, clearly.
Welcome back to the Spirit Squad.
I thought for the longest time he was other Darren. I thought that was a different person. He looks so fucking different with that haircut.
Nemeth.
That's not the Ultimate Warrior. That's Kerry Von Erich under face paint.
Wow, Genghis, can you bust out some older references? I think there's some fans who might not have heard of Luthez yet.
Well, there was the one time the NWO attacked Flair backstage, and they had some other guy who was blonde lying down while they played an audio tape of Flair selling because he'd gotten hurt in Japan and couldn't be there.
So, bell goes off and it's go time. And
2 minutes later, bell goes off and it's end time.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I was just about to say, the bell goes off and it's time for the job.
Ziggler drop kicks Bourne out of the air and then covers him, and then 2 count, and then he hits the zigzag, and then he gets the pin.
But no, you're missing a spot. You're missing, Evan put him down in the corner, went up for the shooting star press. Ziggler moves, but somehow, and Bourne did this absolutely perfectly the way he sold this with his body language. He started that shooting star press as if he meant to hit a shooting star press. I mean, it looked no different from usual, but as soon as Ziggler moved, somehow he whipped his legs forward in midair and landed on his goddamn feet.
And he's the jobber, people.
Yeah,
he's
and he's the one who loses.
Yeah,
he's the one
seriously. I mean, no offense
Ziggler.
to Ziggler, he's a great talent, but oh my, that was impressive. And I'm kind of mad I forgot about that.
Some people might disagree with me, and some people might say they might treat it like a joke again, but they need to bring back the cruiserweight or the light heavyweight or some kind of title they can put on these people who have talent but are too small for the main event.
Yeah.
The jobber belt.
The flippy weight title.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Damn it.
Well, so there's a couple of
change.
Ross and Lawler plug All-Stars, and then Cole says he's going to be knighted by the Queen of England.
Oh, we'll fucking get to that.
Oh, yeah, we will.
And then we cut to commercial. Back from commercial, we get a highlight video of Sin Cara on Raw and SmackDown.
First of all, we got to say, during that commercial, we got another preview of That's What I Am.
Oh, yeah.
Starring, in massive air quotes, Randy Orton.
Oh, God.
This movie is starring Randy Orton like Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow was starring Laurence Olivier, all right?
Yeah, it's starring Orton like Double Team.
Lugosi.
God damn it. It's starring Orton like Double Team starred Dennis Rodman.
No.
No, Rodman was in a lot of that movie, though.
And he fried the Coke.
That was a kick-ass movie, goddammit. I loved that movie. I will.
And now any credibility or movie taste that I thought you had has gone out of the window.
Hey, you can't bash any movie that has the Brotherhood of Steel in it, damn it.
It's got Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dennis Rodman fighting Mickey Rourke and a tiger in the middle of a minefield in the Roman Colosseum, for fuck's sake.
That would have been a cool movie if you hadn't had mentioned Dennis Rodman.
Who cares? He's a better actor than Van Damme.
He's not a better wrestler than Van Damme, though. Hi-yo.
We'll get to Dennis Rodman's matches. Move on.
We will? I thought we already did, like 2 weeks.
Not tonight.
Shut up!
Then we get his Edge retirement package.
And then after the highlight video of Sin Cara, JR gives us a retirement video of Edge. God. Oh, Jesus Christ.
And they actually showed...
He's alone.
It was a better song than that. I'll give it that. It was less annoying.
I remember you.
Hey, at least it wasn't my sacrifice.
Yeah.
At least it wasn't My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion.
I would have rather have that than some of the shit they use on this show. I mean, Raw starts with Nickelback and SmackDown starts with Green Day, for fuck's sake.
Don't you get me started on the fact that SmackDown starts with Green Day. That band is 15 years past any point of which it was relevant.
We'll get to that.
And those who tuned in for wrestling, we apologize that we're doing DarkMatch the Music episode this week.
And they are still and their songs are still being used as themes. Why? They suck. They were mediocre in the beginning. They only had one good album. I'm sorry. Let's move on.
Yeah, moving on.
I'm sorry. I hate Green Day. I hate Green Day about as much as I hate Nick.
Riley. And they say the usual shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Awesome, gonna beat everybody, blah, 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 the end. And now it's time for Sin Cara, according to JR, to come out and face Alex Riley.
Sin Cara.
He has a mask, plancha, almost fucked up his entrance. They had a better trampoline or something. He cleared it nicely.
Yeah. That guy must be really nervous. Because I've watched a lot of his matches in the lead up for him debuting, and I haven't seen him botch all that much as he has recently.
Well, he's working guys who never worked his style before, except for like in a watered down version with Mysterio or Eddie at best. And he's working in a type of ring he's never worked in before, working off a type of ropes he's never worked off of before. He's got to fuck shit up. They should have had him doing dark matches for like a fucking month straight before putting him on TV.
Not this dark match, but...
Yeah, real dark matches.
I just have a quick question for anybody who knows. Is this the first time Mystico has been doing any shows in England?
Maybe.
I know every rare once in a while they'll have like some kind of a lucha exhibition show or a couple of lucha guys go over to England. So I don't know. It's possible.
Well, if any lucha went over to England, it was probably him, considering how big he was in Mexico.
I know he's been to Japan several times, but I don't know about England.
I guess. Well, if it is, good for him. If not, I bet he wishes he were back in a better ring. Anyways,
and before anything can happen, He's just standing there like, well, I'm going to have my match. Do. Cena runs in because the announcers try to cover this by saying, and Cena knew they were going to try and beat him up 2-on-1, so he's making the pre-save. Like, when announcers are good, they can explain shit like that, even if it makes no sense. And, yeah, what do you know? Do. We've got a fucking tag match because the anonymous computer said so.
Vince must have found quite the AI for that little laptop.
Yeah, he's got some kind of fucking self-regulating, semi-autonomous smart frame running on that fucking thing.
No, it must be in a server complex somewhere else because Edge broke the first laptop.
I'm afraid I can't let you do that, King.
No.
Yeah.
If you recall the AI's voice, they're ripping off GLaDOS, not Hal.
Yeah.
They've got like somewhere hidden in the basement of Titan Towers, they've got a room full of Cray mainframes all hooked together, and it's got like a giant screen with a smooth CGI face on it that talks to you in a monotone. That's the GM. That's the horror.
There
was a match.
If they actually did that for the GM angle, I would love every second of it. But they're not. But let's move on.
Turns out the GM's played by Hugo Weaving in sunglasses. You can't see Mr. Anderson because he doesn't work here anymore. He's botching shit in TNA now.
Oh, Mr. Anderson. Oh, wrong promotion, guys. Sorry.
Anyway, John Cena and Sin Cara versus Miz and Riley.
Jesus Christ.
What?
I did not like this match.
Why?
I just didn't. I don't know what it was, but this match just got on my nerves.
Considering the next match we're going to talk about in a minute, why did this match get on your nerves?
I don't know.
Considering all the matches we're going to have on this show.
I mean, I guess it wasn't too bad thinking back about it now, but I hate Riley with a passion. And his matches always tend to suck. And I don't think it's any surprise that Sin Cara started botching shit when Riley got in the ring.
Well, Miz is better than Riley, that's certainly true. But, I mean, Riley, he's green, but I don't think there's anything that wrong with him. He's just a guy. He's just kind of there.
I find him very annoying in the Mrs. Bitch character. Like,
you gotta remember, Alex Riley, his entire experience since he's hooked up with The Miz has been taking The Miz's beatings, basically. You can't get good doing that.
I mean, and I guess it's not really his fault that he can't really wrestle all that well, considering he's just in a manager position. Because I'll give him one thing. He kind of has mic skills. I mean, he's not terrible on the stick. There's certainly been worse, but, you know. I don't know. He does tell pretty terrible jokes before anyone brings that up.
Anyways, this match that annoyed War Machine so much. It's a standard match. Cena does his shtick. Miz does his shtick.
It's a decent tag match, and I thought it worked to get Sin Cara over by saying, hey, this guy fucking matters. He's tagging with our top babyface against our top heel.
And that's pretty much what the match served a purpose as, to try to get the audience to take him seriously. I mean, because if he was...
Even if he did just completely fucking whiff that moonsault at the finish. I mean, he wasn't anywhere close to Riley when he landed that thing.
Yeah.
He kind of laid his hand on him as he hit the mat.
There was a reason why that was on Botchamania. Now, let's move on.
The next match, as long as we're complaining about work rate.
Michael Cole.
Bella versus Eve.
Hold it. Awesome Kong hype promo.
Oh, yes.
Just her ripping up a doll and then laughing.
No, she pulls like a noob Cybot and rips the doll's legs off. And then she does her like evil cackle. And did they show that her name was Karma, or did they just leave it blank?
I don't remember if they mentioned it or not.
Okay, well, Awesome Kong's new name is Karma.
They did show part of her face, so I could tell this to my friend who believes this is all going to be fake, that screw you, it's actually Awesome Kong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're just looking at it, you can tell it's Awesome Kong. It clearly is. Just from her hands, for God's sake.
The only thing that they could possibly fuck this up is if they have her job to the Bellas, but I truly believe that she's going to come out and eat the Bellas and win the Divas title, and then, burn it or something, because she doesn't want it.
long term, they will fuck this up. She'll go the route of Beth Phoenix, of having an interesting year or two, and then just being forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and then just being remembered for having really good...
Positive.
And then just being remembered
women's
for having...
division in WWE?
Damn.
Go ahead, War Machine.
And then, she'll go the Beth Phoenix route, and then she'll just be remembered for having really good matches. That's about it.
When they let her.
Yeah, when they let her.
She had somebody who she could work
although
with.
I am interested...
They're not going to let her stiff the fuck out of people here like she was used to in the other places she's worked.
Oh, no. She'll have to work a little softer. But I am interested.
She works
kind of spinning back fist on the people she used to? Hell no.
Nope.
The problem
I am interested.
The spinning back fist could fucking knock out John Cena if she connects solidly enough.
She could go the route of China and wrestle a bunch of guys, which I think would be weird, but,
I'd buy it.
Yeah, me too.
Half the roster.
Yeah, when Awesome Kong is probably about your 5th or 6th biggest person you're going to have on your active show. That's
Not literally. She's only 6 feet tall, but still.
You know what I mean. She has, let's say, a presence then. A presence of
yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't put her in some real bullshit for her outfit.
Oh, God. Neon.
That would be the quickest way to kill her fucking entire push, is if she comes out dressed up in just something awful. I don't even know what exactly, but I don't know. So let's say an El Gigante bodysuit, for example.
and
that slim good body
thing
he had.
And much like the bodysuit, it's got hair covering everything.
Yeah, so it's like a pelt, but not really.
and then she's gonna get into a feud where somebody's gonna try to collect her pelt and sell it like a fur trade.
Okay, let's move on.
We have to, because look at what we have now. Yeah, Nikki and Eve.
Okay, let's not move on.
They didn't even really fucking botch anything, but it was still awful. No timing, no presence. They never properly taught these girls how to simply do something like a strike exchange. They don't know how to punch each other and sell it and go back and forth with it. They never bothered training them that shit. Either that, or they hired people so awful that they can't learn it. One of the two.
Well, once again, it goes back to the fact that they don't have enough time to learn anything.
That, and they just don't act like it's important for them to anyway. I mean, the girls who can work aren't getting pushed any harder than the girls who can't. Notice Gail Kim was not on the show.
Ah, God. And that could be such a great feud, reliving that one. But it's not going to happen anyways.
Yeah, whenever they get a new version of Superstars, look for a 4-minute long Kong versus Gail match on that. Otherwise, they'll never touch each other.
Yeah, it'll never happen again. Unless, and I know, you know what, never mind. I'm not going to bring this up because...
What's even worse, I want to say this is even worse than the match, because the match is bad, but as we explained, there's various reasons why, but something that they have complete control over they keep doing is, once again, Cole has to bury the fuck out of more people to keep doing this stupid angle that should have died fucking months ago.
It's reached a new level of dumb.
Yeah, I wish. He's really bad in there these days. What they either need to end this feud and tone down his character a little bit, or just take him off of commentary. Because when he's being the super screaming heel all night long, derailing everything, talking over everybody, monopolizing the entire show, and making it into the fucking Michael Cole Variety Hour, it's so incredibly distracting.
I mean, the guys in the back, the guys and girls, honestly, in the back, cannot be pleased that they know that their entire match is going to be buried, shitted on, and completely ignored by Cole so he can do this angle that nobody fucking wants, except I guess Vince must be really high on this angle or something.
I'm sure Vince loves it, just looking at the way it's been booked. I'm sure he thinks it's the greatest thing he's got going on his program.
I'm sure Cole gives good rim jobs.
Okay, thank you for that, DigiFox. It's actually better than the joke I was going to make that it's going to be Katie Vick 2.0 for Vince.
Oh.
But anyways, yeah, so we get, as Jingus so well put it, the Michael Cole Variety Hour moment.
Christ, this took forever. This felt like it almost went on longer than the R-Truth segment.
Yeah, we get to re-see that Cole sacrificed his body for Jack Swagger. As you see, probably Ray do the slowest 619 he's ever done. And I will give this to Cole. Back on SmackDown, he sold that very well, because until the match was over, that was like 5 more minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it was like he had been shot. He was down and not moving.
But anyway, he's not shot. He's here at Raw. And we get to, as we've alluded before, the knighting angle.
Oh, dear.
Fuck!
Jingus, I believe you have the floor.
God damn it, do I have to?
You're the one who keeps talking about it.
God damn it, this was lame. Alright, so Cole comes into the ring, and he calls out Swagger, who comes out carrying a royal robe, and they are back together. They hug, so somehow they've made up off-screen. And they say tonight that Michael Cole is going to be knighted. They bring out a Queen Elizabeth impersonator. And she comes out and does what looks to be an entire English knighting ceremony. I doubt the ones in real life are actually much shorter than this. And Cole randomly kisses the queen on the mouth. And the fans are in a sullen heat at this point. They're not definitely booing this. It's just are you fucking kidding me with this shit?
I also believe that kissing the queen, you can be executed for that shit, unless they don't execute in England anymore.
It's probably on the books somewhere. Yeah.
But yes, so we have Sir Michael Cole, and he has stolen King, and he apparently has stolen King Booker's ring gear too. When we get
it looked like the exact same robe Booker used to wear.
Which I'm funny that Booker didn't point out, but we'll get to that later.
And then it gets worse. Cole turns his attention to JR and Lawler and says he takes his shoe off and his sock, and he has some kind of makeup on his foot that makes it look like it's infected or some shit. He says, "Come in here and kiss my feet." And Lawler and Ross are like, "Well, fucking A, right, we'll get in the ring." And they get their asses kicked. I mean, they get in that ring, and 20 seconds later, they're both down selling after Swagger beat the fuck out of both of them.
Oh, boy.
And they grab JR, put him in the ankle lock, and make him kiss Cole's disgusting foot. And this all takes much, much longer to actually happen than it sounds like from my recap here. They dragged this out like it was an Iron Man match.
Never mind the fact that they're turning Jack Swagger into a Kurt Angle clone, because honestly, if anybody could do it, it's Swagger with his funny faces he can make sometimes, but they just keep putting him in more and more shit, don't they? He's always in the shittiest angles, but it's never his fault that they're shitty, isn't it?
It's just this angle, they think it's the greatest thing ever. That's one thing about the WWE I've noticed. They take much longer getting their heat than they need to. They just spend forever getting their cheap heat, as we'll see on SmackDown in the opening segment of that, and just over and over hammering this and hammering it until the mentally handicapped kid in the back row is like, "Get on with it."
that's a very good way to put this. I mean, how more often do we have to see that Cole is an asshole, he's a coward, and Jack Swagger has to do all his dirty work for him? We've seen this every week for the past 3 months. And what's worse is we've already gone past the due date of this feud already, and now it's turning into feud cheese. And not good cheese, bad cheese. Cheese with mold in it.
It's turning into Cole adopting a royalty gimmick, a faux royalty gimmick.
Yes.
And here's a question I have also. This is, alright, so what are we the viewers supposed to think that Cole really thinks? Are we supposed to think that this guy is such an asshole that he had himself fake knighted and then never breaks character ever about his fake knighting? Or is it that this guy's such an idiot, he thought he was really knighted and keeps bringing it up? Because either or, it's like, that's...
Like, you know what this
it
is starting
makes sense.
You know what this is starting to remind me of? The NWO, because Cole never fucking loses in this fucking feud either. I mean, think about it. How many times has this motherfucker been on top?
Which is part of, I know they want to keep this feud hot and keep his heat and keep it going, but, I mean, he's had his ass kicked exactly once, and they retconned the victory afterwards, which I still say it wasn't that important anyway, that they said that officially Cole won the match at WrestleMania. Who cares? That doesn't really matter. But just for us dragging this out as long as they have, Cole has received remarkably few ass kickings in the course of this.
I mean, yeah, it's the standard cowardly heel thing, but A, it's not cowardly heel if he keeps winning, and B, the cowardly heel is supposed to be captured eventually and, you know, shown the error of his ways, so to speak.
Hopefully it's going to end at Extreme Rules.
Oh, bullshit. You know what? They're going to WrestleMania. Here's what I'm going to say. This is going to WrestleMania 28. Cole's going to screw John Cena when he fights The Rock, and The Rock is going to align with Cole.
No.
Because why not?
That's
and
what I
then
get.
it's going to be known as he's going to be part of the coal mine because he's The Rock, and you find rocks in coal mines, and that's going to be the reason why they do it.
I've heard reasons which sound less like WCW logic. But not
Just you watch. And then eventually Cole is going to end up being the biggest heel on WWE and will win the championship eventually.
I think they're going to make him the GM, personally.
Oh. Well, if they're not going to go flat out, it was actually a literal computer AI, it's going to be Cole.
Yeah.
I think they still haven't made up their mind on who the GM is. They don't know. Legitimately.
It's the net.
Like I said, watch it be Bret Hart. And it was Bret Hart the entire time for some strange reason. Because he was the last...
Me all along, eh?
And now these homos.
What?
Well, thanks.
Well, anyway, we're
Where'd that come from?
did we talk about that yesterday? His things towards DX.
Oh, right. That's a hell of a callback. Yeah.
Anyway, we're losing focus. Let's keep going.
All right. Santino Marella versus Sheamus in a non-title match.
Ding, ding, ding. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. No, except I wish that's how it had gone. This was a long, slow squash match.
Yeah. You know, Sheamus gets all the wrestling time in the... Or no, not Sheamus, sorry. Santino gets all the wrestling time in the run because, you know, Sheamus actually has talent. Oh yeah, Sheamus also makes reference to the Tea Party.
He's the champion of the United States, fella.
Yeah. Sheamus, the guy who couldn't be more Irish if he came out with fucking boiled cabbage and Dennis Leary on his back, is making references to being a hardcore American Tea Partier.
But that's funny. I mean, I don't mind that. That's the usual gimmick they do with whenever, like, when they had Americans win the European title. They did the same shit. But what I had a problem with was, when you're doing a squash and it's a one-sided squash, do it fast. Don't drag out a one-sided squash and just keep beating on and beating on and beating on and beating on and beating on a guy. I mean, it's not that it hurts Santino to lose. It doesn't at all. He's still over anyway.
Yeah, there's another guy who's got perma-jobber overness.
But just, Jesus, it seemed like...
they occasionally give him a win.
Would I be wrong in saying that I think this match was longer than, not including the commercial time, than all of Truth versus Morrison?
Not including the screwing around after the match?
Not including that. That was longer than the rest of the show combined. But
yeah.
I mean, the actual bell to bell.
I'd have to say, bell to bell, this probably was almost double. Yes.
I mean, it seemed like I might just be remembering it exaggerated, but it seemed like this.
Too, and this could easily have been the longest match. This could have outlasted Randy Orton CM Punk, I think.
No. It wasn't close to that, but still, this is pretty fucking long.
Yes.
For a squash.
Yeah, this was a squash, people. This was a match where Santino just got his ass kicked for like 8 minutes. I mean, SmackDown versus Raw, 2-player, nobody has the second controller. That's what it was like.
Yeah. And you don't go for pin. You just wait and let them get up.
At least Sheamus seems to be out of the doghouse now.
Meanwhile, Daniel Bryan tagged in for that, apparently, seeing as how he was not even on the show tonight.
Yeah.
That doghouse, my God. Kevin Dunn must be making expansions to it. It's now a dog apartment.
But, yeah, that was I didn't even realize until I just said that. Yeah, Danielson wasn't even on the fucking show.
People with talent need not apply.
Okay,
you don't think Danielson, who wrestles kind of a European style, would have been fucking over like hell in England?
One would have thought.
Also, no Willie Regal on this show.
That's actually a good point I didn't think of.
Yeah, he wasn't here either.
Of course, if you believe the rumor, he's not allowed to be in England.
It's like the one day of the year.
He might be the last.
He can be a face one day a year.
Well, at least they didn't have Sergeant Slaughter come out and start cutting anti-British promos like he did that one time in Canada.
Yeah, or this, I still remember this one of the UK pay-per-views they had back in the day, like Capital Carnage or whatever the fuck, 98-ish. They spent an enormous amount of time with Vince coming out and cutting a cheap heat promo, just saying basically, English people are stupid, over and over again for 10 minutes straight, just in slightly different words. Like, guys, you don't need to do that. A, because you can get over as a heel with the crowd, and like 10%, wow, that's some loud fucking typing. Punch the keys, boy!
Hey, at least this time it wasn't me.
But I assumed it was. I wasn't looking at who the sound came from.
That was individual microphones.
And B, to cheap heat to everyone who's not there live is either funny and getting a laugh in favor of the heel or boring. Because nobody in Los Angeles cares if the guy in the show in New York is making fun of the Yankees. It's a waste of time to show that shit on television.
That's a very good point that a lot of people seem to forget when it comes to cheap heat and shows that broadcast nationally or internationally.
Internationally, yes.
Yeah, like, especially in, like, let's say you're cutting a heel program in Boston about how bad the Red Sox are. They're going to be loving that in New York. And then they wonder why they can't get heels booed sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, or they go so over the top with their cheap heat that it becomes hilarious, a la Kurt Angle's infamous "I Want to Make Jesus Tap" promo at New Year's Revolution.
A little much, but then again, he's also done racist promos and pedophile promos and bestiality promos, so, I mean, there's no cheap laugh Kurt won't go for.
Oh, yeah.
Which makes me so sad. Sorry, bit of TNA, that they're not using him as Funny Kurt. I've always felt that Funny Kurt was much better than Serious Kurt.
Well, because Serious Kurt is boring unless Funny Kurt is a lot more prevalent. If he's Funny Kurt and then he just drops into Serious Kurt, it adds to it because he's generally a happy, sort of funny guy.
Mm-hmm.
If he becomes Serious Kurt after,
Right, we're not talking about TNA today.
Yeah, we're spending a long time analyzing
We don't have to talk about that horse shit.
Back to the show. Hey, we're almost done with Raw, guys. Almost fucking done. We're at the main event.
Randy Orton versus CM Punk, a WrestleMania 27 rematch with Nexus banned from ringside. Which,
easily match of the night. I mean, guys, not that that's saying much, but still.
As much as I bash on Randy Orton, it's still Randy Orton and CM Punk. They could probably put on match of the night on any show they wanted to.
It's a bit chin-locky, like all of Randy's matches tend to be, but sooner or later he kicks it up. And once he bit the thumb, about halfway through the match, Orton has him down in the hold on the mat, and basically, Punk has Orton down in the hold on the mat, and Randy essentially tries to eat CM Punk's thumb right off of his and Punk sells this thumb magnificently for the entire rest of the match. Over and over again. Like, he's looking at it, he's checking it, he wants to see if it's, like, bleeding, and he's like, he's just looking at it like, I can't believe how much that hurt. I mean, it's like he's making you believe there are, like, invisible wounds on his thumb that you just can't see.
Well, that's something you rarely ever see hand things nowadays, because remember back in the day when a finger lock would be sold like it was torture?
Yeah.
Because, a finger lock is torture in real life. Yeah. But you rarely ever see that kind of stuff those days. So, it's just one of those things that I like about CM Punk is that he can sell anything and make it good. And he'll bring back old shit just because it's appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anyway, easily match of the night. Randy Orton and CM Punk go at it. I mean, unless you want a blow-by-blow recap, there really isn't much we can say about it.
Yeah, they went 10, 15 minutes, including commercial. It was just good. They did all their normal spots. There was a lot of neat counters. One thing WWE Style's really good at is the audience knows everybody's signature move, and the wrestlers and the agents know they know. So they'll do a lot of counters to those signature moves, which is intelligent, because it way too often in places like the WWE where everybody has their one finisher and it's how they always win matches, it turns into a case of, why don't you just hit the fucking stunner already? The only way you ever beat Voltron, goddammit, pull out that blazing sword. You're not going to beat this rope beast otherwise, and we all know it.
Yeah, seriously.
Or people who are under 35, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, just call the sword at the beginning, or just get Megazord out there immediately and just stop that monster before Rita makes it grow.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, but the way they do the matches when they're done right in the WWE, they actually make that make sense, because the guys try for their finishers, like several times, but the other guys are looking for it, and it's not until they can finally catch them when they're tired and beat up at the end.
That's very simple logic, and it works.
And although I'm kind of, and this match doesn't end with a fucking finisher. It's just Orton counters a go to sleep attempt right into a roll up. 1, 2, 3. And he was pushing his face down in the roll-up. I don't know why, but that just added something to it.
It looked different. And you know what? If it looks different, I'll give it a pass, because if there's one thing that wrestling needs, it's for things to look different. But anyways, after that, now that the ban is lifted, the new Nexus comes out, and
yeah, now that the match is over, they're not banned from ringside, and they run the fuck out.
Yeah,
how does Mason Ryan get past the wellness policy?
The same way Batista gets past the wellness policy.
He gets fake urine from Evan Bourne.
Yep. I'm willing to bet that's his solution.
Evan Bourne pisses for everybody in the back. They just bring him a cooler of water each time the wellness people come up.
Yeah. Come on, Evan. This and celery or asparagus. Let's go.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm kind of surprised they're still doing this Nexus angle after Randy fucking killed all of them up to WrestleMania.
They need to drop this. They really do.
Continuing with it.
I mean, does anybody besides us insane internet fans remember what the point of the original Nexus even fucking was?
Anybody but us remember their names.
So this new Nexus has effectively less than zero things to do with the original Nexus.
Yeah. Like, which is lamer, Nexus or Core? Nexus has a better leader. Core has better under-members.
I'm going to say Nexus.
I don't know. Maybe they need to take each other on in a fight of lameness.
Well, they were supposed to, but that didn't happen.
How long did they tease the Core Nexus thing and just drop that like a pile of dog shit onto Karen Angle?
Oh,
God, no.
But that's horse shit. Dog shit is for the British Bulldog in 1999.
Yeah, anyway, let's wrap this the fuck up. So, after the match, Punk's down selling, and the others come in and beat up Randy. And Randy's down, and Mason Ryan's like, he's mine. And Mr. Kate Hudson and the other one are like, well, we want to beat him up too. And Mason's like, no, he's mine. And he goes back and he sets himself up to punt Randy as he's getting up. And that's when Punk finally comes to his feet. He's like, no. Yeah, that's a good idea, but he's mine. Come on, get out of the way. Hey, get out of the way. I'm serious, dude. No, Pinky swears serious. Come on, out of the way. So Punk sets himself up to punt Orton. He runs in, and Orton jumps up and RKOs him and runs out of the ring.
Punk sets himself up to pork Orton.
No.
He was going to bugger him right in the middle of the ring.
But of course, Batista has infinite title shots. Randy has infinite finishers.
Yeah, he comes out with like a fucking some kind of Game Shark code on, letting him his SmackDown meter never goes down. He can nail that as many times as it takes. So I thought it was cute, because Punk, by the arguing, if he just let Mason do it, he would have kicked Randy and fucking killed him. But no, Punk wasted like 2 minutes doing that shit and let Randy recover enough to knock him the fuck out and run away.
You mean there was actual logic in a spot? Holy shit.
That seems to happen a lot in CM Punk stuff. And he's just kind of got a mind of, wait a minute, let's put in some little details that make this make sense.
You mean CM Punk actually has talent for wrestling? Get out of town.
Strangely enough. So yeah, that was Raw, everybody.
It
was subpar.
No, it wasn't. If you took out the strange, overdrawn Punk Truth, Morrison Truth things, and the abysmal Cole shit, it wasn't that bad of a show.
Okay, it was par.
Yes.
It would be like a 1 hour episode of Raw from back
I don't know.
in the day.
Most Raws don't have not one but two in segments, which infuriate me to that level. This one's below average by my judgment.
Taken all together, yes, I'd say it was below average, but it was only because 2 segments were so damn low into triple F- territory that the show got dragged down with it.
It was weird UK.
We're not grading on an impact curve here. This is fucking Raw.
Right. They get the real curve, so they definitely get a D. But once again, even Morrison Truth, as bad as it was just weird. The Cole shit is what really sunk it for me.
Yeah, that's just over the top or below the bottom, whichever way you want to put it.
Exactly. And ironically, like most WWE nowadays, it's Cole that stinks up the show. Funny how that works.
Yeah, the canary died in the coal mine a long time ago.
So, fucking SmackDown.
Here we go.
We've got another whole show to review, guys.
Wait. Did any of us want to do Tough Enough or NXT?
Fuck that.
I'm really happy.
I watched Tough Enough.
You can take it. I'll be here eating a cookie.
Okay.
I watched it too.
So essentially, what happened? Okay, well, me and you, Digifox.
Yeah.
So here's what happened. Bill DeMott walks in. They show a recap of last week, and they show M-Dog getting eliminated.
Bullshit.
We already talked about that. Let it go. DeMott walks into the trainees' rooms and starts yelling at the top of his lungs to get up, wake their asses up, wake the fuck up, whatever.
Get your asses up.
Pretty much. And he's being DeMott, and they all put on clothes and tie up their hair and go outside. Then they proceed to go on, I think it was maybe a 2.5 mile run or something like that. They went on some run of some, I guess, undetermined amount of length. It was apparently really long because everyone looked dog tired by the end of it. And Luke finished first, followed by everyone else. Two interesting cases to note were Eric and what's her face? Michelle.
Cena?
No, Michelle. No, not exactly Rima, because she sort of finished kind of early. But
yeah.
What had happened was it cut to Michelle, and Michelle looks like she's over in a corner hurling up whatever she had for dinner last night. She looked ill, like she looked like she was gonna die. And Stone Cold is in the truck, and he's talking to the cameraman. He's like, "This run, I knew this run was gonna kick her ass. She is not in this type of running shape. She's far too skinny. Blah 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 blah." And then Stone Cold says, "You all right over there?" And then she goes, "Yeah, I'm fine." And Stone Cold's like, "You sure?" And then she goes, "Yeah, I'm fine. Just keep going." And Stone Cold like kind of laughs and drives off. Then it cuts to Eric, and you know that Eric is in a bad way because they're playing the Herp Derp music, which makes him look like a total asshat. And he's walking, he's tired, he's dying, and Stone Cold's yelling at him to hurry his ass up. The polar opposite of Michelle. And he finishes last. And I think Michelle, comes in just right before he does, which, considering the state we saw Michelle in, doesn't speak too well for Eric.
It was 40 minutes long, it took him.
Yeah. And so then what they did was, afterwards, Digifox, do you remember what they did afterwards?
Something about cheerleading.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember?
No, Big Show was first. Big Show was first.
Oh, that's right, Big Show.
So what they did next was they went into the ring, and Stone Cold said, "I got a surprise for you guys." And in walks Big Show. And Big Show's looking Big Show cool. He's decked out in his ski cap and his Big Show merchandise because I guess he's just so cool he can pip his own merchandise. And he essentially was there to give a pep talk to Eric because they apparently feel that he has potential, which Eric does because what they do next is chain wrestling, or I think that's what they called it. And they essentially just do various holds and stuff like that, and it all ends with it starts with a roll up, and then it ends with a big suplex. And anyone who can do it kind of fast and looks like they're in control is fine. Anyone else who screws up is cut from the challenge. Not from the show, just from the challenge. And it will affect whether they stay on the show or not. And everyone does a pretty good job. Eric, my God, had a monster suplex. It looked like it hurt just... Oh, my God. Like, most suplexes... How should I put this? As a smart and as people who know that wrestling is fake, we know that people are being taken care of. And we know that the moves, while aren't very comfortable, don't hurt all that much unless they're done wrong. Eric looked like he was killing these people with his suplexes. It was insane. Like, most of the guys had pretty good suplexes. And wasn't there a girl who had to suplex Eric?
Yeah, I think so, and she couldn't do it. I think it was the blonde girl.
Well, I mean, can you blame her? My God, Eric's a freaking monster.
Yeah, those suplexes were Vader stiff.
Yeah. And Luke got cut. I don't remember who exactly won the challenge, but Michael got cut early, which, thank God. I freaking hate that D-bag, but anyways, we'll get to him we'll get to him at the end of the show, because there's a special surprise in store for him. What are you doing? You coughing?
I'm trying
Shut
to
your lips. I'm doing the Tough Enough recap, sucker.
Look at the chat.
They're suggesting you're going into way too much detail.
Oh, screw you guys. Anyways.
Okay, moving on. Then we have the cheerleading bullshit.
Yeah, we have the cheerleading thing, and then guess who shows up?
Stacy Keibler.
Fine. Michael gets eliminated. SmackDown.
Yay.
Dicks. You asked me to do Tough Enough. I do Tough Enough.
We almost had to give you your own show for Tough Enough.
Okay, let's just move on to SmackDown. They're clamoring for it.
SmackDown.
All right, fucking SmackDown. And speaking of taking too long to talk, here's Cody Rhodes. He comes out and he takes about 5 fucking hours to cut a promo, which is basically saying, "Hey, y'all in England are ugly. You should wear these bags over your heads." And he has guys pass out a bunch of paper bags with faces cut out.
They're ugly to their souls, Genghis. Ugly to their souls.
Yeah.
Yeah. He takes a long time to say, "You're ugly." And then, half the fans they pass this out to are, happy to ironically wear them.
Yeah, they're like, yay, paper bags.
You know those bags are going on eBay, right?
Can you sign this? Fucking hell.
And then Mysterio comes out to confront dashing Joseph Merrick.
No, dashing Dr. Doom.
Yeah, that the guy who's so hideous he has to wear a transparent face mask. Yeah.
So, they have a match.
And it's good.
Yeah,
These two are good. They match up well together.
It's probably the best match of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much. Nothing but talented. They have a very good match.
An interesting thing after the match. Cody gives Ray a crossroads on the floor because he jumps him after the match. And the fans start chanting paper bag. The fans turned
this paper bag got oddly over.
I mean, that paper bag thing was probably one of the biggest miscalculations they could have done.
I mean, bizarrely over, this fucking paper bag.
You're going to have people showing up with bags over their heads.
Well,
yeah, like Cody fan. We're bag-maniacs.
They forgot that England is a different. Well, England is a different country, and one of the things about England that they're really famous for, or Britain in general, is their really dry humor. And this was a very dry moment. I mean,
oh, how delightfully droll.
I mean, this is the country that gave us Monty Python, so I'm honestly not surprised that if this was in the States, this would have been heel. But in England, this was a total hilarious face moment. Ironically, we don't get to see their face.
Yeah.
Johnny Ho.
Funny.
Thank you.
Okay, so... And then a core segment in the back.
They're seriously teasing a breakup of the core. Like anyone cares.
Just break up already.
Why not? That's why.
You know what? Breaking up the core, so Ezekiel Jackson and the back of his head can form a tag team.
Yeah, he can be the Black Lord Voldemort.
Yeah, we're being thrown off our game by this shit. Okay, so they argue and shit, and next up we have, what was next? Oh yeah, couples therapy. More of it.
Yeah.
This was kind of funny. I mean, compared to the rest of the shit that passes for comedy on this show, this is kind of funny.
There was no barber window for Michelle to throw Layla into.
No, it was the psychiatrist's couch. The deadly padded couch. Yeah. I mean, it was funny because, like, she finally, Michelle dresses down Layla verbally, you pervs, so badly that Layla starts crying, and McCool's like, "Oh my God, I didn't mean to go that far. I'm sorry. It's okay." And he hugs her, and Layla's like, really, like into her collarbone and shit. And she's like, "Yeah, it's okay. Come on, let's go." And then throws her into the couch. Fuck you.
That, you know, the only way that could have been more devastating is if she threw her into a pool.
Not the comfy chair.
Damn it, not the couch, not the leather brand new couch. Well, of course, if she made her sit on there during a hot, humid day, that would probably be bad as throwing her through a window.
It'd be annoying, sure.
Oh, look what we have to get to next. Sir Michael Cole.
Still acting like this, like either he's refusing to break character or he's so stupid he thinks he's a knight. One of the two.
I'm going to guess.
Bugs me more than it should, but it does.
They're going to spin this like he truly believes that. That's how I think they're going to spin it.
Which, is he supposed to be legitimately retarded?
Yeah,
Who knows?
I'm not kidding here. Seriously.
I don't know. I don't know. I gave up.
Then we have Jack Swagger versus Trent Beretta. Which I had no idea.
Smell the
And basically, Jack Swagger wipes the floor with Trent Beretta and wins with an ankle lock. And that's it.
Ah, what a surprise.
Pretty much. I mean, not much else to say. What's the next match? What's the next match after this?
Big Show and
Kane.
Kane.
Clips of Big Show on the Kids' Choice Awards with Jack Black looking remarkably old these days. I know he's been around for a long time, but still, he looks.
I remember his first movie was The Never-Ending Story 3. That was back
the King of the Nasties is.
Oh, he was in fucking Dead Man Walking as Sean Penn's brother.
Oh, wow. There's a blast in the past. But yeah, after that, we get Big Show and Kane versus Heath Slager and Justin Gabriel, the WWE Penny Champions.
And at least they're kind of taking these belts seriously at the moment.
But yes, so the riveting tag team of Big Show and Kane are back together, people, because you demanded it.
They work together well enough, and they know how to have this good kind of monster match. And they're believable when they're selling. I mean, they put the heat on like fucking, South African and Red are allowed to beat up fucking Kane for a minute, and it's believable. They make it work. And then Kane at Big Show smash and win the titles.
And then I think Slater and Gabriel have a little, another married couples fight in the back.
Have a lovers spat, and they both somehow blame it on Ezekiel Jackson, the guy not in the match. And he not unfairly points out, "Hey, fucker, I didn't blow anything. You're the one who got pinned."
So then we get the next match, which is Drew McIntyre with facing Chris Masters.
I'm still surprised he's working.
And
ever since Triple H buried him in a fucking chute on Raw that one time, I'm still surprised they're giving him work.
You craft a masterpiece.
Especially since I think that was at the height in which Triple H was blatantly using steroids.
Yeah, but so anyway, the Master Lock is totally useless because Drew McIntyre manages to break out of it, and then Drew hits the Future Shock DDT and wins. And next match.
Yeah, sorry, Chris Masters, we can't be arsed. After that quick little match, which is average, I guess is the best way to put it.
I liked it.
We get the replay of R-Truth and Morrison.
Yes, we do.
And one of my friends on a forum I visit sometimes joked that, why are they recapping this? It's still going on Raw.
Well, we all know that SmackDown can't just be SmackDown. It has to be the Raw recap show.
At least it's not as bad. At least it wasn't as bad as back before WrestleMania, when that literally was all it was. I mean, like, if you look at the kayfabe of the situation, you think Long would be pissed that he'd have to dedicate so much time to his rival show.
Anyways.
I mean, if this were the days of Bischoff and Long having a fight about who was the better brand, this would be quite the slap in the face. If this were 2005, this would, but let's move on.
Yeah.
Since brand extension doesn't really exist anymore.
Well,
we're moving on to Intercontinental Championship, Wade Barrett versus Kofi Kingston.
And these two should have had a better match than this. I put the blame on Wade personally, but they just don't work together well.
It was pretty lackluster.
Well, I don't know about that, because their first match for the title wasn't that bad.
Maybe because
this
Wade
one was
over.
I mean, I don't think they have tried everything they could to get Wade Barrett over as the fucking tippy-top guy, and it hadn't worked. Nobody buys him as that.
Mm-mm.
I blame the accent.
Well, I mean, to be fair, no one would take you seriously, so it's okay.
Fuck you.
I mean,
more
Canadian lager accent, it's just, it's too thick.
Hey, there's been more Canadian champions than British champions, so go eat yourself.
Well, at least they don't sound like they just came from the wood mill.
No, it sounds like they came from the salt mines.
Salt mines?
Alright, I'll stop.
I'm the lumberjack.
You guys lost me a while ago.
National fans.
Okay, so we're moving now into the retirement party.
Ugh.
Wait, we didn't even talk about the match.
I thought we had it. We did.
They hit their spots, and then eventually Barrett pins Kofi with his hands on the ropes. And like half of it took place during the commercial, apparently, because they were showing like a lot of replays of, and then this also happened in the commercial.
It surprises me how much that happens during the recorded shows.
Yeah, this show they've had in the can for a week and a half. It's not like they didn't have time to edit this correctly.
I know, compared to Raw, you almost never see that on Raw. Usually they schedule it so the commercials happen in between the people coming to the ring.
Yeah, and usually on Raw, they just say, hey, we're going to commercial. Grab a chin lock. How do you think the referees have those little earpieces, man?
Throw a sleeper in there.
Or, like, knock somebody out of the ring.
Yeah, or something like that.
This match will continue next.
This is a
What's going to happen?
This is both a problem on SmackDown and the other show that I'm not going to say because it's not this time for that show, is that they'll do a match, go to commercial, and then the match is completely different when they come back.
Mm-hmm.
And no explanation thereof.
Yeah, seriously.
But let's move on. We're just about done this shit.
Mm-hmm.
The Edge's retirement party, hosted by Alberto Del Rio.
Oh, my God, they started this show with Cheap Heat that took forever. They're going to end it with Cheap Heat that took forever.
Yeah, that's an accurate way to describe it.
Okay, so Del Rio, he
it's too bad Del Rio isn't a French aristocrat, because that would have got him major heel heat in England.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that would have been pretty sweet. But he presents Edge with a grandfather clock and says that you can look at this while your life is wasting away, and then he presents him with adult diapers and a bedpan. Because somehow having a broken neck means you're incontinent.
Yeah, this turned into like a bunch of age jokes somehow.
Yeah, which is weird considering that's not the reason why Edge is leaving.
Yeah, aren't him and Del Rio like about the same age?
I was just going to say that. If I recall, they're the same age, so Edge should have been like, well, I think you need these more than me, buddy.
Hey, you're the one still in there taking bumps. I'll flip the coin. I'll bet you some money.
I'm the one who gets to retire with millions. See how sad I am.
Wah, wah.
And then we have a fat woman who's supposed to be Lita, which is funny because I never remembered Lita to be fat.
No, because anytime you need to make fun of a female, you just have a fat chick come out dressed as her. It's the universal rule of the WWE.
Keep it classy there, Vince.
Yeah, and he's giving him gifts like a grandfather clock, and he's giving him pins, and finally at the end, there's one good part, and also the entire time there was like some like faint mariachi music being played in the background of this segment.
Yeah, I'm like, where's the
that?
mariachi band?
Well, just one. It was like Antonio Banderas in like a quiet, dark scene in one of those movies, where he's just by himself in a dark room, slow noodling away on his guitar.
As you said that being a woman being made fun of means automatically fat, you got to remember, being a Mexican in WWE means you automatically have mariachis around you at all times.
Which is ironic when he comes up with this next thing.
Or steal anything that can't be attached.
He says his last gift is Edge's new ride. And Ricardo Rodriguez zooms out on one of those little hover-around wheelchairs, complete with an oxygen tank hooked up to his nose. And the greatest thing was, for some fucking reason, they had Kerwin White's theme song playing here. I have no idea why, or how it even makes sense, but for some reason it made me laugh my ass off.
Well, maybe this is a subtle hint that they're going to turn Alberto Del Rio into a white guy eventually.
They should have at least had Chavo for this.
Chavo dressed up as Kerwin White. They should have made Kerwin White, Del Rio should have acted like Kerwin White was going to be Edge's freaking life coach or something.
His new caddy. Kerwin White.
It would have been a step up for him, considering the last 2 years of Chavo's career. But anyway, part to end off this tortures is Del Rio. I mean, actually, first of all, Edge comes out, and Del Rio 6 Brodus, and then Christian comes out and totally kills everybody with a ladder.
God, Christian can wield that ladder like a fucking champion. I mean,
and then
that's one thing that's always kind of found funny in wrestling, how when they pull up the ladder, they try to use it like a weapon, which is about the stupidest thing you could do with it. Like, let me swing this incredibly disbalanced and heavy thing at you. It's going to take you 5 minutes to do it.
And then basically the show ends with Christian setting up the ladder and climbing up the ladder and grabbing the vacant World Heavyweight Championship belt. Which has,
by the way, been hanging over we should have mentioned this earlier, hanging over the entire show. It's been up there, which was a nice touch.
And just nameplates taken off and everything.
Yeah, it's got no nameplate, too, which I like.
So,
I would have found it funny if they put a nameplate on it that said, like, to be determined or unheld or something.
Vacant.
Vacant, yes.
Who's Vicanti?
El Vicanti.
Vicky Guerrero's new gimmick.
Oh.
She did say she wanted a crack at the championship.
Why did you take my funny joke and turn it into a reference about Vicky Guerrero? Dang you, sir. Dang you to hell.
This is hilarious.
Dang me. They ought to take a rope and hang me.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say go to hell, sir. Let's move on.
Nicely done.
There's nowhere to move on to.
Done.
We have finished.
Yeah,
we're finished. We're done.
With your Michael Cole level banter, we are wrapping up this show.
Well, then, that was another full week of the Dark Match. In summary, WWE was, I'm going to have to say subpar, but only because there were some segments that were just truly wretched.
Yeah. Anything involving Vicky Guerrero.
Anyways,
all 2 seconds she was on screen.
Yeah, that was a terrible segment.
So we have to finish it off.
Nothing wrong with Vicky and her
We're going to finish this off with a new segment because, as we probably know, Jay Lethal isn't on TV anymore for good. Well, maybe not for good, but he was released from TNA recently. So, in honor of WWE, we're going to say, what gets more screen time than Zack Ryder? I'm going to start this off with Zack Ryder's YouTube show gets more screen time than Zack Ryder.
So technically speaking, Zack Ryder gets more screen time than Zack Ryder.
Exactly.
And we have already meted the hell out of this joke.
The troll face in the crowd at Monday Night Raw gets more screen time than Zack Ryder.
Yes, it does.
Santino's limp Cobra gets more screen time than Zack Ryder.
And the Invisible Mariachi Band gets more screen time than Zack Ryder.
Well said, DigiFox. And with that, we would like to thank you for listening to the Dark Match. I'm Mr. War Machine.
I'm the Revolver Man.
I'm Jinkus.
I'm DigiFox. And that's it.
And we need to think of an outro for this show. So
1, 2, 3, the end.
The end.
Up
that
and away.
Works.
Smart out. End this show already. My God. I can't stand you people.
Change the channel.
Clap, clap,
This
clap,
isn't a
clap.
Batista versus Big Show match. I watched that when it first came on, actually. I watched it mainly
same
because
here.
I wanted to see how the ballroom was going to react to all this nonsense.
You know,
Wait, you were 10. How would you know such a thing at that time?
I wasn't 10. I was 11, jerk.
You know,
okay, that was a good self-conscious joke. I appreciate that.
Besides Cena, who could they have put in that match that would get a more negative reaction from the ballroom?
Triple H.
That's it.
Yeah.
If they had, too bad Triple H would never agree to lay down for the Big Show. But if they,
Well, number one, he's smarter than that, and he knows if he ever appears into the ballroom, he'll get more stuff thrown at him than at the end of a Yankees game.
Wait, more stuff thrown at him than what? Than at the end of the Yankee game? What, am I missing something?
I watched a clip one time of a bunch of shit getting thrown at a ref at a Yankees game. or an umpire or whatever.
But
Could it have been John Rocker? Oh no, that was. Could it have been John Rocker? He wasn't a ref or a umpire.